Morning, everyone. Greetings. It's great to have so many people here registered. I believe we have close to 300 registered, and that is really awesome. My name is Suzette Moore, and I'm the Vice President and Chief Procurement Officer for Washington Metro Area Transit Authority. Today, we have another one of our thrilling events. It's called the Meet the Prime series, and we've done several of these so far. Always well attended, and there's always tons of information for the small and minority business community. So I want to take the opportunity right now to thank the planning committee. You've done an awesome job as usual, and also want to thank our presenters. All busy people in their own rights, but yet they take time to come because it's a very important event, and it's also very important to Omada and the relationship that we have with these prime contractors. Just want to thank Clark, Hensel, Phelps, Kiewit, and WSP for taking time out of your busy schedules to do this for us today. I know you all know that Metro, the impact that we have on the region and what we're still doing. You know that we have 91 stations, that we have 150 buses. We just bought a new set of rail cars that went to Hitachi. So we're still moving forward in the region, and we have a powerful impact on the region. And we can't do any of this without the contracting community. So that's one of the major reasons why we do these type of events and why we're here today. Just want to remind everyone of the dedicated funding that we now have, and that is the foundation for a lot of the work that's going on. Our speakers today, I'm sure they're going to talk to you about some of the exciting things that's going on, but we're building bus garages, we're rehabbing platforms. You name it, we are doing it. Office buildings for ourselves. So there's just a lot of work going on. And again, the partnership that we have with the contracting community is paramount. But I wanted to speak a little bit about the successes of this office. And I'm sure Ms. Howard is going to beat me up later, but I'm going to spotlight her. So if you could come on camera, Ms. Howard, I would appreciate it with me, because I want to publicly talk to you about the successes that you've achieved since you've gotten here to Omada. And I don't want to, you've done some remarkable things, but we can't do it alone. So in turn, I want to also thank your team for the support that they've given you. But just the one thing I want to talk about is our MBE program. You and I made history together, and I'm very, very proud of that. There was no MBE program before I came and before you came, and you've made that a reality now. So I want to thank you for the tremendous success just in implementing that program and the opportunities that it brings. And I hope you all talk about that, and I hope I'm not stealing your thunder, but just I'm excited that now we have a program where we can set aside projects for small and minority businesses. That's a guaranteed contract for some of these businesses, and we know it. So those things I want you to make sure you highlight today. And also about the disparity study. In the midst of everything else that's going on, you also conducted a disparity study. And that's remarkable because we already knew it, but it confirms that, you know, there's work still to be done in the area. But it's things like this, and I know you're out there talking about our program. You showed me your outreach list, and I was like, Lord have mercy, I don't know how she does all of this too. But I know you do it with the support of your team. And so I just want to publicly thank you for everything that you do and will continue to do. And thank you for having this type of event so that we can tell everybody about the wonderful programs, the DBE programs, MBE programs, and the successes that we have at Omada. And with that, ma'am, that's all I have today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Suzette. Yes, I'm going to talk to you later.
It's okay.
That's a
I can
lot.
take. It's okay. I can take
You
it.
know what? We are such an excellent team. I am so humbled with the team that I have here at Wamada. Everybody has been absolutely amazing. And it does take a team. But this team has also been a family. So it's been a joy for me to be here working with everyone internally and externally, our partners, to make these programs a success. I thank you so much for that, Suzette. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you. As Suzette said, I'm Michelle Howard. I'm the director of the Small Business Programs, and I want to welcome you for participating today in Omada's Small Business Programs Office Outreach Series called Meet the Primes. I am so excited about this new series that we have here at Omada. That we're going to have another one in June and another one in September. And, you know, our lady, Otilia Bobiak, she is awesome, awesome sauce. She helps us to coordinate and bring in these wonderful prime contractors to meet with our small business certified contractors. And so we're always excited to share the news of contracting opportunities. I want to also make sure that I encourage all certified and those not certified small businesses to please get certified with Omada. We are extremely excited about our programs here. We now have 5 socioeconomic programs that you can be certified in. As Suzette said, we have our DBE and SBE programs, and that's on our federal side. But the new ones, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about the minority business program, our small and micro business programs. They are our non-federal local programs, and we just want to get people certified in those. We want to make sure that, you know, low-hanging fruit gets out there so that these small businesses can participate in prime positions and, you know, learn how to prime with potential opportunities here at Omada. All of this is to say that we are definitely open for business, and we want you to be a part of our contracting opportunities. So we're also going to send out a survey. So please remember to fill out your surveys that will be sent after the outreach. I want to thank you again. Please put all your questions in the chat. We will be checking the chat, and our team will be, you know, reading the chat questions for the contractors that we have presenting today. And at this time, I am going to introduce Ms. Otilia Bobiak. She is the Commercial Development Manager and current Acting Director for the Commercial Innovation Market Outreach CMO team within the Project Development and Implementation Planning Department at Omada. She joined Metro in transportation industry in 2019 after working for over a decade in the international dispute resolution field. Prior to Metro, Otilia was legal counsel at the World Bank Group. As a relatively new function at Omada, the CMO team supports procurement and the Office of Capital Program Delivery with high quality customer service and outreach to internal and external stakeholders. CMO conducts market outreach to Metro's current and prospective business partners and provides insight on commercial structuring options by analyzing incentives and alternative delivery methods to maximize competition and value for the authority. The team also manages a significant indefinite delivery and indefinite quantity task order program for project management and construction management, and general architectural and engineering consultant contracts that facilitate the delivery of Metro's ambitious capital program while prioritizing safety and promoting fiscal responsibility. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to my girl, Otilia, and she is going to take us on this journey for opportunities.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for that lovely introduction. I'm really delighted to be here with the whole Small Business Programs Office team for this event and all of you virtually who are joining us today. Before I turn it over to our 4 presenters, I really want to echo Suzette and Michelle's comments about how much we really value your engagement in this and other Metro events. We recognize the vital role that you play in continuing to push our region forward and delivering the state of good repair investments and upgrades that Suzette highlighted that our customers and our communities deserve. I know we'll mention this again at the end of the session and probably throughout the presentation, but please know that you can reach out to the SBPO team, myself, my CMO team, and my Vice President of Project Development and Implementation Planning, Ms. Corey Cobb, who is also on this call. We do have 4 main presenters this morning, and I'm really pleased to introduce our first group, Clark Construction. So Todd McQuinn, the floor is yours, and please introduce the rest of your presenting team. Thank you.
Thank you, Otilia. Erica, you're up. There we go. All right, just jumping right into it. My name is Todd McQuinn. I'm with Clark Construction. Also on the call with me are a few other people from Clark. Erica Kunanen is running our presentation for us today. Novelette Josephs is attending from our Small Business Programs office, as well as Brand Harrell. And Jake Butts is one of my lead estimators here in the Clark Civil Group. To give you a little update on us, thank you, Erica. The entity you have with Clark with you today is the Clark Civil Group, a wholly owned part of Clark Construction Group, which is I refer to as Papa or Mama Clark. We're kind of like Shoebox Greetings is to Hallmark. Omada is one of our main clients, but overall with Clark, we do quite a bit of revenue every year. We've been in the business here for over 100 years. We are nationwide. Mid-Atlantic is our headquarters, but we have offices and opportunities across the country. Next slide, please. So first and foremost, every meeting we start with, we want to talk about safety. It's a core value for us. It should be a core value for every contractor and subcontractor that works with us. One of the evaluation criteria we have when we talk to and subcontract to other partners is their safety record. It's extremely important to us and will remain so. Thank you. Next one. Continuing a culture of safety, we've worked many Omada projects. One highlighted here is the Orange and Blue Line Rehab project, where we received a safety award for over 1 million man-hours worked without a lost time. In the past years, recent past anyway, we initiated a 100% gloves policy, and we believe we're one of the forerunners in the industry with new chin-strappable, stay-on-the-head hard hats. So I wanted to give you a brief outline of my policy on my methods for how I bid and procure work. First off, we take and we keep a database of small businesses and large businesses. Basically, everybody we've ever played with or dealt with, we have them available to us. And for every project that comes along, we identify who would be best suited for the work of that particular project. We also do advertisements in the local papers and the local small business journals, and both print and other media to kind of advertise our jobs. And we send out invitations so we can tell you what the jobs will be about. And then obviously getting you the project documents. So that's step one. Next step, for every project, we evaluate our subcontractors via a form we call the Subcontractor Qualification application. It's basically a get to know you form, how long you've been in business, what work you do, who are your leaders, what's your financial capacity, as I said, your safety record, your quality record. We gather that and we evaluate people that we, if you will, pre-qualify them to work with Clark. We only want to hire the best, and we will help you get there, but we only want to hire the best. We also do a little trade package development, so I try to break down my jobs into constituent parts, so I'm not saying, hey, there's a pump station over there. I want somebody who's going to do everything in that pump station from concrete to valves. I will break the work down into packages to enable participation from almost every level of the trade spectrum. And the next step, third step we do is scoping. We will put a pretty detailed scope together. I'm not sure how many other general contractors do it similar to us, but we put a pretty detailed scope package together detailing exactly what level of costs and trade we need to have you perform. It'll be in the terms of a bid form, and it'll go from everything from the specification sections we ask you to provide to are you bringing the nails and the hammers to make it happen. And then write down, follow them from that are your business size, your business types, your adherence to Division 0 and 1, the insurance and bonds. So write the whole gamut of what we require to you very clearly defined so that you can bid the right scope. And we also furnish you with a site utilization plan and a schedule so you know not just what you're doing, but how you're supposed to do it and when you're supposed to do it. So that helps us get you to the right price, and it helps us also get the right price to, in this case, Omada. And then we put all those words out, and we then receive proposals from you. And the evaluation stage is you responding to those comments and saying, okay, I can do this, and I can't do that. And we look at all of those to decide, okay, how can we get a comparison among contractors on an apples to apples basis? Excuse me. We also look at, as I said, financial stability, your safety record, your track record or experience doing that work, and also look at achieving our equal opportunity goals, be they required by Omada or required by Clark. And then the next stage is the award. Once we've received all the evaluations, everyone's told us what they can do and what they can't do, we look to the award stage where we decide, well, we've got some certain small business or diversity goals on this particular project, excuse me, or we have to look at price, and we try most of the times to make a best value determination. Price does rule the market a lot around the area, but on some particular jobs, like our Omada Northern Bus job, it's really a best value determination. Thank you, Erica. Okay, next one, please. So a few upcoming opportunities to tell you where the rubber hits the road as far as right now. We're working on giving a final GMP to United Airlines at the Dulles airport out there in Sterling, Virginia. We have an FGMP date has been moved up to next Friday. We anticipated it was August, but they want us to give us a new final guaranteed maximum price next week. We're working on that one. Does still have opportunities for people who are working on it. We're in the final stages of looking to negotiate a contract with CSX Transportation for improvements to a tunnel up in Baltimore. That is more on the heavy civil side, but that'll bid late in this year. And then we're hoping to see the Omada Bus Shelters project come out here in the spring. I'm in touch with someone over at Omada to see when I can expect to see that. But it's about 150 bus shelters, stainless steel, throughout both metro stations in Washington, Maryland, and Virginia service area. As soon as that comes out, I will make sure I get everyone notification of that. And then last of the upcoming opportunities, we are a CMAR, which is Construction Manager at Risk, for a project up in Baltimore at the airport, where we are building a connector passageway or connector lounge, connector hold area between concourses A and B, including quite a bit of baggage operations, finishes from Div 3 to Div 12. And that's we have that project. So the first three there we are competing and or hope to compete. And on the last one, we are the CMAR. We are contracting out that work. I expect documents here. It's the 7th. I expect documents on the 15th of this month. Next. So working with us, I'll just read off the slide for a minute. That's a nice picture of, I believe that's George Avenue, Petworth back in the day when they were excavating it, when we were excavating it. Clark offers an array of business opportunities for pre-qualified trade contractors. You know, I have an idea of how I'm going to parcel out the work. I'm always interested in your thoughts. So if you have a trade or a product you'd like to work with Clark on, then I'm always available to talk to you. We do require you to give out that or to provide us the subcontractor qualification application. Again, so we get to know you and so we get to know your strengths and hopefully work with your weaknesses to get you some work with Clark. Oh, I see that, Congress Heights, there you go, not Petworth. Next slide, please. So there's the SQA. I'm not going to dwell on this. There is a link there. We do send that link out with every advertisement we put out. But if you need that link, you can quickly write it down or contact me or Erica after this presentation, and we'll make sure you get an email delivered hot link to the form. It probably takes a couple hours. You probably will need a financial officer at your firm to do, and maybe your risk department to fill out some of the information. The work experience and licenses, which should be pretty straightforward, but financials and references may take you a little bit more time. I would suspect about a day's worth of effort to put that together for us. But it's good for a year. So when we go and we to sign up contracts with you, this needs to be completed, but it's good for a year. So every year you'll get the same kind of request from us to go ahead and please update your subcontractor qualification application. Next slide, please. Next, and you can just keep going through. So it's a few pages long. Okay, so on bonding, Clark, as I'm sure your firms are very risk adverse. We want to make sure we know the project. We want to make sure we know our subs, And we want to contain our risk by bonding our subcontractors. So to work with Clark, and if your contracts are going to be over $100,000, we require you to bring to the contract, when we send the contract on, a payment and performance bond package, or supply bonds if the case may be. And you need to work with your surety. We can help you work with surety and acquire those bonds. We just need to know that you need that kind of help when you first contact us. So, power of modern technology. 5 or 6 years ago, we stumbled upon a software called Building Connected, and I think a lot of general contractors in the nation use it now. It's very powerful, and that database it contains for firms out there who are interested in doing work really is a powerful tool. And I would hope that everyone at this point knows about this software or does start to, when you get the invites from Clark or the other partners here, to engage with Building Connected. It's really a great way to tell us what you're doing as far as each scope is concerned, that you're interested in this project or not that one. And you'll receive invites from us via Building Connected, both on the Clark Civil side and Clark corporately as a whole use Building Connected right now. If you need access, you've got Erica's name and address up there. Access is given by project, so there's not a global access to it. But as the projects come out, we'll send invites out through BC, and you should be able to respond to those on the internet. Now, it is technology, and some people aren't really up to it all the time, so please, phone calls never hurt. I enjoy talking to everybody. If you're having problems with the software or you don't know how to run it, I'll be glad to take your phone call and work with you offline to make it happen. Next slide, please. So I think at this point, I'm going to turn, I think, Novelette, you're going to speak for the group.
Yeah.
On the subcontractor development. Now, I'll warn you, Novelette, there's an extra slide in here that you may not have seen. So, but you know the slide, you may not be aware of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello. Okay. Hello, my name's Novelette Josephs with Clark. My department is a subcontractor development group, also called SDG. So our mission is to connect Clark with small business, facilitate Clark's compliance with small businesses, and build relationships and conduct internal and external compliance training. Okay, we're like Todd said, we're nationwide, so we do this throughout all our regions. We also create subcontracting plans, purchasing plans, and small business reports, locals and federal. Next slide, please. So the subcontractor development group, that's funny, okay. Then our group also created our strategic partnership training program. This was done about 16 years ago. It's a 10-month program that is done on every Wednesday at 6 till 9 p.m. It starts in September of every year and ends in June of the following year. This particular program is set up where its registration is online and starts, and as of September, when it started, the link has been open for registration. So we open the link early so we can get registration. So by the time the following year comes around, we'll have build capacity and then select the next group of people. As it states there, we have, awarded, our SPP numbers have grown significantly. It's over $1 billion in contracts. 8 markets, like we said, it's going on 16 years, and it's 1,250 graduates so far. Next slide, please. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Brett.
All right. Thank you, Novelette. So these are all of the, sorry, let me introduce myself. My name is Brett Harrell. I work with Novelette on our team here in Bethesda with our small business compliance. This is our teams for anything related to small business with Clark. So if you all have any questions, please feel free to reach out. One thing that I want to add in that we also are doing is our SDBE 15 program. So what Clark started doing is that any any project that does not have a mandated small business requirement by the owner, we put our own 15% goal on those projects, and we count any state, city, or local or federal certification for that project. So any project that we have is going to have a small business requirement on there. If you have any questions about our program, or you're interested in any of our projects, feel free to reach out and we'll connect you to the right project team that you need to speak with. Nala, you have anything else to add?
No.
Novelette, I just want to thank you for rolling with that extra slide. I snuck it on you there on the SPP. Okay.
Okay.
Job. Thank you. Thank you too, Brett. So this is the people from the civil estimating group you have on the call. I want to shortly emphasize civil estimating. There's a larger clerk organization. Now I've worked at the company for a number of years, so anybody on this call can just call me. I'll get you to the right party. If it's not a civil job you're interested in, it's a bank building or a hospital someplace in the Mid-Atlantic or nationwide, just call me. I'll get you to the right person. But those are our contact information, and really just call any of us and everyone will help you. So this time, I think Clark and I'm sure Omada would like to open it up to the floor, and any questions or comments, we'd be sure to entertain and try to get you the right answer now, or maybe in an email later.
Good morning, Todd. There are some questions in the chat. The first question was part of the first presentation. What value of?
I'm sorry, did I hear that?
Yes, it was. The first question was what value of? That was in the first part of the presentation when you were talking about value.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the question. What value of?
Okay, no worries. Whoever put that question in the chat, can you please elaborate on your question so we can get that answered by Clark? The second question was, how can we enroll in the SPP program?
Novelette, you briefly touched on that. Would you like to maybe gather their contact information and show them how to get into the program?
We could do that, but we also have a link at Clark, www.clarkconstruction.com. When you go to that link, and you'll be able to walk through and register your company. But also, we'll be taking emails. If you want to put your email in the chat to get the link directly to you, we can do that too.
I will add that I did just put in the link to for the link in the chat. And also, if you all do apply to the program, please do select at the end of your application that you attended this outreach event, so that when we're going through applications, we know that you came here and know to look out for your application.
Brett, can I take control of the screen for a second, and I'll show you everyone where that link is online?
Go ahead.
So desktop. So I quickly went to clarkconstruction.com. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
And then over here, Novelette referred to the Strategic Partnership Program link. So if I was to click on that, it would pop me right in to that program.
And then you just scroll down a little further, right there.
It is right there.
Apply now, and it's very straightforward.
Pinch a key. It works. You guys in here anywhere? I don't see.
No.
Okay. All right, we got to work on that. All right. Thank you, guys. I'll release back to. I can figure out how to do it.
Okay. So the next question was. It wasn't a question. It was a comment. It was a compliment about the SBPP program, and that they're a graduate, and that Clark Construction was great. Kudos to Clark Construction. The next question was, can you go back to the slide presentation that shows the contact information?
Okay, I'm sure Erica's working to pull that up as we speak.
Thank you. There's another question in the chat. To whom shall I reach out to know the BIM laser scanning requirements on any of the upcoming projects?
That would be me. That's Todd McQuinn. I can be reached at todd.mcquinn, todd.mcquinn, todd.mcquinn@clarkconstruction.com.
Thank you, Todd. The next question is, do you have subcontracting opportunities for engineering services?
Define engineering services, being an engineer myself. So we don't have any design opportunities. That's not what Clark does. We would have engineering as far as quality control management, perhaps safety management, although we try to keep safety management mostly in-house. There are opportunities there as well. If it's a takeoff or pricing or estimating, we usually keep that in-house too, otherwise I wouldn't have a job. But just define engineering for me and I can maybe get more specific.
Next question is from Apex Petroleum. We are a wholesaler distributor of fuel. How do we have access to work on projects with your company by supplying fuel?
I would say that the best way to do it is to contact your estimators or me, and we'll put you in contact with the trades and the subcontractors who are working with us or hope to work with us on those projects, so that you can know who our subcontractors are. As a general contractor, we are usually, not always, but usually subcontracting a lot of our work out, and so the users of the fuel would be the subcontractors. There are those contracts where we would be doing some concrete work or some metals work or some foundation work or the like, and then we would need some fuel as well. And in the past, I've certainly worked with Apex to make those relationships happen from my point of view on my side of the performance spec.
Thank you, Todd. Next question. Do you have any subcontracting opportunities in drafting?
Not on the drafting side. Clark has a fairly large cadre of engineers and project managers who do all that drafting in-house. We have a small drafting group in our foundations or sheeting and shoring group. They have, I think, 2 CAD drafters down there now. If you have if someone's looking for a position rather than a contract, they can certainly call me and I'll put you in line with that department. But as far as the subcontracting, no drafting, we wouldn't usually be looking for a drafter or drafting services.
Thanks, Todd. Next question. Does Clark's headquarters purchase the PPE and safety supplies from the same vendor, or are there new opportunities for each project?
I will start off with I'm not sure. But I would generally think that we have large purchase orders that probably go through our logistics group out in Upper Marlboro that purchase these things en masse, a lot of them at a time. If you get me your name and an email, I can probably forward you to a guy named Charlie O'Reilly, who is in charge of our yard operations.
Thanks, Todd. There's a hand raised. Can you put your question in the chat? The next question, does Clark use utility locating companies?
Absolutely.
Next question, under engineering, can you use NDE testing as a quality control of concrete slab with 3D GPR to find dimensions of reinforcing and slabs for verification?
That's another quick answer. Yes. We have one of those devices in-house. Certainly it would benefit us to have someone who ran it more than once a couple months. So yeah, we would offer those services out as a subcontract for our work.
Thank you, Todd. Next question. We are Group P6 schedulers. Do you subcontract ops for construction scheduling, opportunities for construction scheduling?
I would say on an expert level, yes. So we had to employ or retain someone to help us with a bigger issue, I'll say. On a day-to-day, project-to-project basis, we do entrust and require our engineering and management staff to know the software to run. We actually have a rotation through our scheduling department So we kind of, all of our engineers and project managers come up through that program that they would run the scheduling in-house. But if there was an expert witness or an expert we needed to employ, we could reach out on that basis.
Thank you, Todd. Next question. How about material sourcing? We currently serve several federal agencies in sourcing and delivering raw materials and finished goods.
That seems like a general question. Hard to answer. I generally go to trusted, known sources. I don't go through third parties for things. Trying to get, I don't know the right words to say, but I guess the answer is no. Raw materials like ready mix and rebar and formwork, yeah, but I don't generally go to a third party for that. I would to get that in, for example, through our concrete group, our concrete subcontractor.
Thanks, Todd. Next question. I'm defining the engineering services. Services looking for traffic control plan design for work zone?
Absolutely, all the time. I'd be looking for someone who had the ability to develop the traffic control plan, to get it signed by a professional engineer, as the requirements might be, to get that plan submitted and permitted through whatever jurisdiction they happen to be in. And then, of course, run that and manage that traffic plan for the duration of the contract. Something I wouldn't do in-house. I would definitely subcontract that work out.
Thank you, Todd. Next question. Is there any requirement for telecommunication technology services?
Big field. I generally purchase that through our electricians, so I kind of group divisions 26 through 28 together. But I'm sure that work gets subcontracted out within that, and I wouldn't be adverse to breaking that package out, as the case would be.
Next question. Will there be subcontracting opportunities for landscape construction?
Yeah, and depending on the project, yes. Some of our projects are more civil related, so we're underground where there's no trees growing, but certainly some of the Omada work, we're at the surface, maybe even the bus shelter contract would have some landscaping opportunities on it. And I would group that planting, landscaping, I try to group that with site furnishings if I can, so I have one kind of total holistic kind of package, but I don't have to.
Oh, Todd, also Clark Construction also does award subcontracts to landscapers.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm a microcosm. Like if I have $10 worth of landscaping, Clark Construction has 100.
Next question. This is from Apex Petroleum again. How do we get access on projects you are working on for future projects?
So there's a few people to call. I think your best bet is really to call me, and I'll get you a name to contact on a project that I'm not involved with, but I can find out, right? For future projects with Clark, it's going to be, you see my name and contact at the top of that list. Maybe for the next time, we could invite the base building group, and they could give you a little talk as well, or at least be a little part of ours. But yeah, contact me and I'll be more than happy to get you where you belong. It's a big organization. People can get lost. I've been here for 30 years. I get you where you need to be.
Thanks, Todd. Next question. Are there any opportunities for scaffolding and reshoring? And if so, who should I contact?
So a couple people. One, if you send me your email, I will put you in touch with our concrete group, which is down the hall from me. Self-performed concrete, so certainly they purchase scaffolding and shoring and all that related accoutrements. And then you can contact me too, because I do a little bit of concrete, and I'd be interested in getting proposals for formwork and shoring and scaffolding as well.
Next question. Does Clark have an internal team who help with recruitment or take help from external agencies?
Recruitment as in new hires? It'd be our HR group. We generally shy away from external agencies for recruitment, but we do employ them more on the I'll call it the executive levels and more of the 5-10 year experience level. So if you're coming out of school someplace or coming out of a trade school or college even, then yeah, you should be talking to our HR group. You can probably get that through that same clarkconstruction.com link that Novelette had me pull up earlier.
Do you have construction management inspection services opportunities?
As far as third party is concerned, yes, third party testing and inspection, absolutely, every contract.
This is Michelle, time check. This is 9:45 a.m. It is time for us to transition to the next contractor. If any questions were not answered in the chat, we will forward them to Clark to follow up with responses. So at this time, I want to turn it back over to Otilia. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, Otilia, and
We thank you, Todd.
Absolutely. Thank you, Todd, Novelette, Brett, and Jake for that very insightful presentation. Really appreciate you outlining Clark Construction's procurement process, opportunities for subcontractor involvement, and your emphasis on safety, as that is certainly one of Metro's core values. And we also wanted to note that we value the work that you're doing through the Strategic Partnership Program to prepare small business partners to successfully participate in these opportunities. That's really important to us and certainly something that we strive to do as well. So it's great to see that many of our business partners are doing similar initiatives. So thank you for that. I'd like to now introduce David Fisher with Hensel Phelps. So David, over to you now to introduce your team and begin your presentation.
Perfect. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the introduction. My name is David Fisher. I'm the manager of supplier diversity with Hensel Phelps. I've been with Hensel Phelps for 15 years here in our Mid-Atlantic district. So today I'll be joined by one of our senior estimators, Hania Madyun, as well as a couple of our trade partners, Mr. Michael Aldi with Mona Construction or Mona Electric, as well as Paul Ring with Shapiro and Duncan to speak about our MEP opportunities on a couple of our projects. So with that, I'll start to share our event and our presentation. You're going to see yourselves for a minute. All right. Let me make sure my sound is on. All right. Always like starting off with that video. It kind of picks me up in the morning time. as you can see from that quick video, a lot of what we do is based around achieving excellence, right? Like we'll probably never be totally excellent, but we're always striving for excellence. And that is some of the resources that we'll speak to you about today. So for the agenda, we'll do a brief introduction of Hensel Phelps if you have not worked with us before, setting the expectations about working with our project team, some key opportunities and key strategies to bidding our work, and then of course the open and upcoming opportunities with Hensel Phelps. So again, I'm David Fisher, Manager Supplier Diversity with Hensel Phelps. I've been with the company for 15 years, and my goal is to identify capacity building opportunities for our small business trade partners. So if you haven't been engaged with Hensel Phelps before, I'll probably be one of the first points of contacts to identify opportunities, connect you with the right people based on your trade, your scope, your pursuits. I'll be that point of contact that connects you and connect those dots for you with the key personnel within our team. So Hensel Phelps, this map, this is actually a new map, and I was surprised to just see how much we are expanding. We have two new offices, two new district offices, one in the Pacific Northwest, which my colleague Hania Madyun will be moving to temporarily, we hope. But she'll be able to speak to some of the contracting opportunities in this specific market, and then our Mid-South market, down in Tennessee. So we're continuing to grow, continue to expand, and hopefully being able to provide opportunities in multiple locations across the company. The one thing you're gonna notice about us, what makes us so successful is that we have a true commitment from our upper management and our leadership. Whether it's our CEO, whether it's our vice presidents, our district managers, our operations managers, all the way down to our field teams. We have a real true commitment to identifying opportunities for our small business trade partners. And it is not fluff, it's not a check the box type of approach. It's very intentional. We want to be able to have those meaningful conversations with you and your company, see where you want to go, where you're currently at, your current capabilities and capacities, your future growth plan and how we can support that. So you're going to see in a couple of slides, that communication is going to be a reoccurring theme to being successful with Hensel Phelps. So keep these three topics or three focal points in mind when you're talking about working with Hensel Phelps, because this is kind of the foundation of our procurement strategy. So just some of the basic rankings that we received, 2021, we went up from 13 to 12. So hopefully in 2022 rankings, we'll get up even further. But we are truly a good performer in our opinion, one of the best in my opinion, when it comes to performing in this general contracting, commercial construction space. And some of the stats you see here kind of reinforce that comment. But this here is where, this is what separates us from the rest of the pack. The programs that we have that are truly dedicated to helping small businesses not only navigate the commercial construction space, but being able to scale their company in a manageable and sustainable way. So the resources we have here are a few programs, our Mentor Protege program, our Emerging Trade Partner program. We have our Technical Assistance program, which is really kind of the backbone to being able to provide small businesses with the strategies and the methodologies to really be able to perform at a very high level within a Hensel Phelps program. So if you haven't been a part of our technical assistance program, you want to be a part of it. So we'll probably be having another one this year, summertime, sometime. But if you are interested in that, my contact information will be, in the preceding slides. So feel free to reach out to me at any time and be able to be a part of our training programs that can help you be more adapt and prepared to work successfully with Hensel Phelps. So how do you get started? I'm glad you asked because I have information that will let you know. Setting expectations. This is key. You'll hear this or multiple personnel within Hensel Phelps. Relationships. We always say it's not what you know, it's not who you know, but who knows you, right? They say a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So being able to engage our team and staying engaged, over the long term is really what distinguishes, the successful bidders from the bidders who get frustrated with the process, right? Because it is a process. It will take time. Again, we are not just doing identifying opportunities to check a box or to get participation points. We really want to have the conversation with you and understand what's the best fit for you at this current stage of your company's stage in your company's progression, right? So we want to have those conversations. We want you to sit down with us and be open and honest. It's like your doctor. You have to tell us the right information so we can give you the correct diagnosis to be able to help you perform and find opportunities that can really help your company grow and scale for the long term. We're not just looking at short-term opportunities. We're looking at a long-term relationship with Hensel Phelps, with our trade partners, and that comes from honest communication, meaningful conversation, and consistent and regular communication. So you're going to have to stay engaged. Responsiveness, that's very important. If you want to bid a project and we send you documentation or information on that project, we need you to be responsive. Even if you don't want to bid, you can't bid for whatever reason, let us know. It's fine. We know that, resources may be limited, schedule might be impacted, and you just might not have the time to take on another project. That's fine. Let us know. We would rather you tell us no and come back on another project to be successful than say yes and know you don't have the resources, know you don't have the bandwidth, and get on a project and struggle. So we'll always say this. It's okay to say no, because we will circle back when another opportunity presents itself. Performance is going to be essential. The name of the game is performance. You might have a certification that is required for a project. You might have the best number for the project, but if you don't perform, then you're not really serving the team well. So it's always going to come down to performance, and that will get you the next project. Because reputation travels. If you're underperforming on one project, our management team, they talk. So you want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward all the time, because word does travel. Bad words travel faster than good words. So perform well to your highest of capabilities. And if you do come to some challenges, if you feel something, say something. If you see something, say something. Talk early so we can come up with a plan of attack to address it and move forward and get you across the finish line with a successful manner, and profitable, right? Because we're in this to make money. So we wanted to get you across the finish line with a few dollars in your pocket. So how do you get started? We use Building Connected. This is an industry database. So if you're already in Building Connected, you probably already have a profile created. But if you're not, we can go through some strategies or some steps to get you signed up in that process. So to do that for us, go to our website, www.henselphelps.com, look up in the top margin, go to the About tab, down to Trade Partners. And once you select that, you'll see a map, an entire map of all the districts that Hensel Phelps operates in. If you scroll across each map, each part of the map, you'll come to the various districts that will have an opportunities page and a point of contact for that specific district that you want to work in. So if you want to work in multiple districts, you will have to create a profile for each one of those districts. Not sure why that process hasn't been streamlined yet, but as Building Connected is currently set up, if you want to look for an opportunity in various districts, you will have to create a profile for each one of those various districts because they have separate procurement teams. So just a point of note, if you are looking to work in multiple districts. These are our senior or our chief estimators, excellent points of contacts to identify, project opportunities. But if you hit the apply now, it will take you to that Building Connected portal where you create your profile. You put down all of the pertinent information, your NACE codes, your core capacities, any type of bonding capabilities that you have, EMR ratings, insurance information, things of that nature. But we will say, put down the NACE codes that are most pertinent to the opportunities that you're looking to pursue. Because when those invitations to bid goes out, they will be based on those specific NACE codes. So put down the NACE codes that are most pertinent to the opportunities that you're trying to pursue. and keep it updated. You know, if you've been in Building Connected for a while, keep that information updated. If you had turnover, make sure that that point of contact who receives those notifications is still current and accurate. Check your spelling. We've had a lot of bounce back from email addresses that weren't uploaded correctly or inputted correctly. So if you are in there, check your information, make sure it's still current so that when we send out those invitations to bid, it's going to the right person. So opportunities, the name of the game is opportunity. So if you continue to scroll through that page, you'll come to the opportunities page. Select that information and you'll have a list of all of our current projects that are in the bidding process or approaching the bidding process. So the ones we'll be speaking to today are the ones that are within the box, our Omada projects, as well as some of our Fort Meade projects. So we'll have some in-depth, some high-level descriptions of those opportunities and the points of contact if you are interested in bidding those projects. So with that, I will pass it to Hania Magyun, who's one of our senior estimators. She will be the one who's going to the Pacific Northwest. So catch her now because she's a wealth of knowledge and she's definitely a resource that you want to be able to connect with for current and future opportunities. And with that, I'll pass it to Hania.
All right, good morning, everybody. As Dave said, my name is Hania Magyun. I've been with Hensel Phelps for about 16 years. Worked my way up through the field operations staff, and I've been in estimating now for about 10 years. So today I'm going to walk you through what some of the current bidding opportunities that Hensel Phelps has to offer us here. Sorry, having some technical difficulties. Let me go. So here's a snapshot of our overall department. So the red over to the left are our two chief estimators that are in our Mid-Atlantic office. The center portion of it, there are pictures of all of our senior estimators that we have in our district. The light gray section are the lead estimators that we have inside of our office. And then we bring in people periodically on a TDY basis to give them exposure to the estimating world of construction to make them better operations folks in the long run. So we have 3 of those individuals that are currently in-house right now that are estimators and or on a TDY basis within our department. So within our group, we have designated individuals to focus on specialty trades as that relates to various different scopes of work. So with this sheet, and I believe you guys will get a copy of this with the presentation, but it identifies who your primary point of contact would be if you had a question on the status of a project, or if you're looking for what work we have coming out. The individuals that are associated with that specialty trade would better be able to guide you. And this is just the subcontracting or trade partner community here is very large. And we want to make sure that everybody gets enough attention from folks. So if you have if you fall within a certain division, just look through this to try to figure out who the appropriate point of contact would be for your particular scope of work. So when you're going through and you're bidding Hensel Phelps, you want to focus in on getting ahead, getting documents as soon as possible, submit that information promptly. There's no need to wait. So if you know that you're going to want to pursue a project, go through, make sure that you contacted us. If you have to go through the pre-qualification process, go through that, and just make sure that you're communicating with that particular lead on the project or that specialty trade rep, because they're going to be the ones to make sure that you get on that solicitation when those projects come out. And then once the project is out for bid, what you would do is go through, review the scope of work, submit your proposal with whatever time frame it is that we're asking for the pricing. So some projects we may ask for pricing sooner rather than later. And the reason being is to allow for us enough time to go through and evaluate your proposal. And if there are questions that we have we can go through and have those discussions with you earlier to make sure that you have your the scope is comparable to what the other bidders are proposing on. And then we ask that you guys submit your best number up front, right? We're not going to bid shop you. We're not going to sell your number to anybody. We're not going to just arbitrarily cut it. We want to get your best number up front because we don't have time when we're inside the bid room to be battling back and forth over dollars. Our goal is to get the right number for the right value on bid day. That there is what will make us successful in the long run for procuring the project, as well as after the fact when we're out in the field trying to build out whatever the job may be. So some of our upcoming opportunities that we have is one is the Omada Bladensburg bus garage replacement. That is led up by one of our senior estimators, Jarrett Lohman. So a little background on that project. It's located located in Washington, D.C. We've agreed to develop a GMP proposal, which was agreed upon with Omada in July of 2021. It's currently underneath construction. So it started July of 21 and it's a long construction process. So we're not slated to be complete until March of 2027. What that scope overall entails, some demolition and abatement of some existing structures, a 570 space precast parking structure that's approximately 250,000 square feet. Then there's also a 140,000 square foot maintenance building with offices and some transit police spaces. And within that space, it includes like a CNG fueling facility, which is at Omada's existing Shepherd Parkway facility, which is also located in DC. And this overall project is broken out into 3 phases, which you can kind of see in this picture that's off to the right. So we have the green section, which is a phase, and then you have like a tannish peach color that's to the top right, and then the blue section is the 3rd phase. That kind of breaks down the various different phases of construction for the project. Some of the bidding requirements for the job. This is a DC prevailing wage project, so it's based off of the February 2020 decision. Since this is a Omada project located within DC, there is a sales tax exemption. And this, you have to comply with the Buy America Act, and as well as submit your DBE certification letter for all the Omada DBEs. So there's like a special process that you have to go through in order to obtain your Omada DBE certification. Now, for Hensel Phelps's bidding opportunities, they are closed as of right now. However, we do have on the call our mechanical and electrical design build partners, Mona Electric and Shapiro and Duncan. So they are on the call to speak through some of the opportunities that we have for electrical and mechanical scopes. So I will pass it off to Mike to go through what the opportunities are.
Yes, it's Mike Ollie with Mona Electric. I'm a senior project manager with Mona Electric, and I'm tasked to manage this project with Hensel Phelps and pull the electrical package across the finish line. We are right now looking for bids for lighting packages, global buyout of all miscellaneous materials such as wire, hardware, conduit, things like that. We're looking for pricing for master labeling, lightning protection systems, full low voltage packages to include telecom, AV, security, CCTV, paging, and DAS. Provide an installed generator package to include rigging. Now, we've already submitted our pricing in for electrical gear package, and we're waiting on Omada to approve the pricing. So that is somewhat closed for right now, but you know, there may be an opportunity there in later on in the project for change orders and things like that. And then we're looking at provide and install a complete site package, you know, to provide duct banks, conduits, vaults, site pole bases, etc., throughout project. That's roughly about a $2 million package that we're looking to bid out and competitively. Then we're looking for we got a large 2 megawatt PV system. That's solar panels on top of the parking structure that was shown in one of the phases that we're doing. We're looking for the complete package of solar PV installation and supply of all the PV equipment installation and associated design for shop drawings and things like that. We're looking for, specialty electrical contractors such as medium voltage splicing and testing, also third-party testing. Of course, we're looking for any type of third-party testing for the electrical equipment and gear to get that. We also, this is a pretty new project, new buildings, and it may not be that much need for it, but we also are constantly looking for, GPR scanning of concrete, cutting, core drilling of concrete as well for installing electrical conduits. So if you're interested in that type of work, you can always contact us. We always have projects that require that scope that we like to bid out to subcontractors. Another thing that we're doing, we're trying to promote small businesses. We're happy to do check signing agreements if your business just isn't quite large enough or have enough financial backing to purchase large packages of equipment. We would help out and we do a check signing agreement with the two-party check signing agreement with the vendor on your behalf. So there's always opportunity no matter what size of company you are. And that's about all we got.
Hi, I'm Paul Ring with Shapiro and Duncan, a senior project manager on the Omada Bladensburg project. And we are currently bidding and procuring the project. So the plumbing and sheet metal packages for the project have been submitted to Omada through the award recommendation letter process. They have not come back approved yet. So if those are scopes that you are interested in, please contact me. And if the opportunity arises, I will let you know. But for the time being, those packages are submitted to Omada. The ones that have not been submitted is the mechanical and plumbing insulation for piping and ductwork. The parking garage phase 2, we would be interested in a mechanical scope or a plumbing scope if you're interested in that. The compressed air piping and equipment procurement installation is a package that we're breaking out separately. So if that's something that you're interested in, it will be black steel welded pipe and screw pipe, along with the equipment package that goes along with that in the specialties. There's a separate system for the vehicle exhaust, and we're splitting that out as a separate bid package as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, please contact me. And then the CNG facility at Bladensburg and at Shepherd's Parkway, we would be interested in splitting that out as well if we have an opportunity there. So those are the opportunities specifically for the Omada Bladensburg project. But if you are a Omada DBE subcontractor, please contact me and I can get you in touch with our pre-construction department for future opportunities as well. So I think the next slide here has the contact information for myself and for Mike.
All right, and you guys will have this handy within the slideshow. There's a couple more opportunities I want to fly through here real quick. So one of them is the Omada Heavy Repair and Overhaul project located in Landover, Maryland. This has recently been passed off to Rob Liston, one of our senior estimators. Then additionally, so this one's located in Landover. It's 375,000 square foot shop and office building that will start construction approximately January of next year. We are still going through the negotiations with Omada for that, so anticipate getting documents for pricing probably late second, early third quarter of this year, when that'll be available for GMP pricing. It's Rob's contact info, and as I said, you guys will get a copy of this slide so you can see their copy down his contact info. Then we have the NIH SRLM, which stands for Surgery, Radiology, and Lab Medical Office Building. This is a recent award of Hensel Phelps. It's a design build project located in Bethesda, Maryland. It's about 650,000 square feet. Jason Withington is taking the lead on this project. It's got many bid packages, but it is a very slow process. So there will be time to go get involved within this job. Just reach out to Jason and he'll be able to direct you. So just to sort of highlight, it's a, like I said, very long process. Design procurement starts in March of this year through January of 2024. And we're not anticipated to finish everything until November of 2028. So it's a long burn on that one. There's Jason or Jay's contact info. Then these are jobs that Hensel Phelps is still waiting to hear back on. So it's the Records Center replacement and Mercury 4 facilities that are up at Fort Meade. That is Troy Rector's project. Like I said, it's on Fort Meade. It's a 250,000 multi-story office building with an 85,000 square foot warehouse separate structure. It is U.S. citizens only, and it requires a background check. We're anticipating getting awarded this job in June of this year. Then we have ECB 4, which is also on Fort Meade. That is being led up by Chris Woodling. That is an 858,000 square foot multi-story office building with a just under 1.2 million square foot parking concrete structure garage. That also is U.S. citizens only, background check, Buy American Act, and we're anticipating an award any day now, early to mid-April. So we're sitting tight for that one with the completion date of 2025. So that's a long construction process as well. And then here's Chris Woodling's contact info. And then this is David Fisher's, our manager of supplier diversity. His contact info will be provided in there as well. So with that, we will open it up for Q&A if there's time.
Yes, we have a few questions. All right. And one of the general questions, I'll just actually answer that, and that was for contact information, and the contact information will be available on the slides that will be disseminated to everyone. All right. Are there any opportunities on project management, project oversight, and design engineering?
I would say we typically, and Hania, you can speak to it as well if I say anything incorrect. We typically handle all the PM responsibilities internally, unless there's an opportunity where we can separate, a component of the project to stand alone. Then we will, contract or subcontract out construction management services to kind of run and operate that type of procurement. So few and far between, but they do exist. You would just have to stay engaged with us to see if we come across one of those opportunities. Specifically, we have a situation like that for our Omada headquarters project, where we were able to separate a scope of work and have that opportunity managed and performed by a small business to perform the construction management, project management services. So they do exist. They're few and far between, but they do exist. So just stay in contact with us, and when they come across, you'll be able to take advantage of that opportunity.
David, thank you for that answer. And to all the presenters, Hania, David, Michael, and Paul, I'm just going to throw these questions out, and if it pertains to you, please answer, unless they're specifically addressed to one of you.
How's it going, Michael? By the way, don't want to be rude. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. This next question is, I pre-qualified with HP in 2020. I've only received 2 bid invitations. Can I contact you so we're actually on the bid list?
I recommend that you reach out to whoever the specialty trade rep is for what the scope of work that you perform, and make sure that you're in constant communication with them. So that way, when opportunities come up, they remember to add you to our solicitation, in order to just keep yourself kind of in the forefront of our minds when we're going through and putting together those solicitations.
And if you don't mind, whoever posed that question, if you just want to put down your company's name in the chat, I can make a note of it and see where's the hang up at. It might be stuck in some process, but if you can put your company name as well as your information, I can check on and see where that's at.
All right. And I believe that came from David Stocks. So that would be addressed to you to put your company information down, David. Okay, next question. Okay, that's just the reiteration of contact information. As I mentioned, that is in the PowerPoint presentations that will be disseminated to everyone. All right, here's another one. Do any of the primes or potential subcontractors, that's a little off base, have an interest in entering the African infrastructure market? That really doesn't pertain to this specific presentation. So if anyone saw that in the chat and they want to directly respond to that individual, you are more than welcome to. All right, more contact information. Attendees, you have to, these are your question time. Stone asked for the contact information. You could be answered right away when we have them on this presentation. Okay, here's another question. Is there any opportunity for sediment erosion control?
Yes, there would be. I would say for the jobs that are included inside of our PowerPoint, especially SRLM, I'd reach out to Jason because that's a job that we have that hasn't started construction yet, or HRO. That there will present the best opportunity for you possibly to partner up with one of our earthwork trade partners to go through and perform that scope. So there is always erosion and sediment control needs on our projects. It's just we typically contract it directly to our earthwork trade partners, but there may be a partnering segment or a piece of it that we could break out for a small business.
Thank you. Now, will there be any subcontracting opportunities for landscape construction?
The short answer is yes.
Yes. The owner likes grass.
So I believe that on one of the slides, it listed your upcoming opportunities, and I believe that there are also points of contact. So to that individual, I would suggest please monitor Hensel Phelps and all the other primes that are speaking today. Monitor their dashboards or whatever platform they used, and become acquainted with it so you can identify those opportunities coming up.
Exactly.
Hi, Michael.
Time's up.
Yeah, yes. Unfortunately, folks, that's all the time we have for questions for Hensel Phelps. We will gather questions from the chat and send out responses along with a welcome package. Our next presenting group, I'm going to hand the floor back over to Otilia to introduce our next presenting group.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. And thank you, David, for your presentation outlining opportunities to work with Hensel Phelps and identifying other avenues for engagement in the short and the long term. We really appreciate your comments about communication and responsiveness as really tenets of successful partnerships. Those are definitely values that we share at Metro in our procurement and market outreach interactions. So it's great to hear that from our business partners as well. Thank you also to Hania for sharing information on the Hensel Phelps bidding process, some keys to success, and identifying prospective opportunities related to Omada's new heavy repair and overhaul facilities and that are coming down the pike, as well as other projects, and to Mike and Paul for sharing specific electrical and mechanical bid opportunities that are available in relation to our ongoing Bladensburg bus garage replacement project, another one of our really critical infrastructure projects that are currently in the works. So thank you very much for your presentations and your comments on all of those topics. Now turning to our, thank you. Now turning to our third group, I'd like to welcome Claire Ferko with Kiewit. Over to you, Claire, to introduce yourself and your presenting team. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Really cool to be in a meeting with all of y'all. This is kind of awesome to have this opportunity. So thank you, everyone with Omada. Joining me today, I have one of our procurement managers, John Stevenson, on the call. And then we've also got Alexander Cornell. Both of them are going to share a little bit about some work that we've already done with Omada, as well as some future opportunities that we have. And my name is Claire Ferko. I'm a project engineer with Kiewit, and I am working on the Yellow Line contract. So I'll go ahead and jump in. So I don't think anybody really needs this, just some quick tips on Microsoft Teams. Do put your questions directly in the chat. We've got another person who's keeping an eye on the chat for us, Isabella Romano. So keep the questions coming. For the agenda, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of Kiewit ourselves, past success that we've had working with Omada. We've got some immediate opportunities that we're currently in procurement for, some upcoming opportunities, some estimates that we're working through. A couple of notes about just what it takes to work with us, and our commitment to programs exactly like this, working with local businesses, minority businesses, and really doing our part in the communities that we build in. So just kind of a big picture. Kiewit was founded in 1884, and we're very proud to say we're now one of the nation's largest contractors. We do a lot of really cool work. We started out as bricklayers, but now we do everything from solar plants to LNG facilities to tunnels and everything in between. So it's a part of something that I really love about Kiewit is just the huge range of work and kind of the landmark projects that you can find yourself a part of. So Kiewit's core values, I'd like to think that these would be obvious to anybody who ends up working with us. Kiewit values, we fondly refer to them as PIEs, people, integrity, excellence, and stewardship. And working inside our communities is a big part of our core values for stewardship. As well as people. They are our #1 asset, both the people that we have in-house as well as our partners that we work with in our communities. So this is just kind of a big picture of our Kiewit office locations. Pick a place, we work there. We go where the work is, so that gives us, kind of a lot of flexibility, but it also means that we have to work a lot and lean on, the experts in our local communities. If, I'm originally from Texas, I find myself working in the DC area, and it is awesome to get connected with so many local professionals who really know their stuff in all of these different locations. So subcontracting is something that we take really seriously, and it's a huge part of our business, and it's fun to get to work with everyone. So Kiewit Infrastructure Co., what we do, everything from transit to tunnels and bridges, airport infrastructure, treatment plants. Other branches of Kiewit, like Kiewit Power, do work on, power plants. We've had a couple of large jobs here in Maryland in the past with our Kiewit Power group. So there's always an opportunity. So John, if you want to talk a little bit about kind of our past projects that we've had with Omada.
Absolutely. Thank you, Claire. I'm John Stevenson, Senior Procurement Manager with Kiewit. I've been here at Kiewit 8 years. I'm actually part of our building group district. And I've had the privilege and honor to be able to work on the Omada projects, primarily the platform rehabilitation program. We're underway with our 4th contract. First contract was 6 stations on the blue and yellow lines. And most of you folks are probably fully aware of the summer shutdown program. We're proud to say that we pulled off the unprecedented with Omada on contract 1, where 6 stations were shut down for the summer from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and trains ran when Omada said trains were going to run. So monumental effort on everyone's part, and a lot of the folks probably on the call, small business subcontractor partners played a huge part in that. So that's we took on some additional work during the station rehab program to jump into the platform at Reagan National, and took care of that. Took an opportunity took advantage of some downtime during the COVID period to ridership was down a little bit to work on that, and then we jumped in and took care of an emergency repair at Benshaft at Farragut North. So I'll talk a little bit later about in more detail about the water program and future opportunities. But back to you, Claire.
All right. So now we'll talk about the fun stuff, some active opportunities that we have going on right now. So here coming up really quickly, the Yellow Line Tunnel and Bridge Rehabilitation, which I'm going to tell you about. We've got the Omada Structural Rehab Package B that our associate Alexander is going to talk about in a little bit. Another station platform rehabilitation program, as well as the Operations Control Center relocation. So the Omada Yellow Line. So this is a really fun one, and it's a really great example of where subcontractors come in kind of key, because there's just a huge breadth, different kinds of work going on this project. So the Omada Yellow Line is running between LaFont Plaza and the Pentagon, and they've broken up some improvements and repairs into 4 work packages. So work package 1 takes place in the tunnel, the steel tunnel liner repair. So kind of the big scopes involved with that. There's some welding, actually, installing some reinforcing plates on the steel liner. There's some leak remediation. So that's a grouting scope, placing some grout behind the existing lining to, plug up any leaks. There's some work, on a temporary system for the fire standpipe. There's electrical systems work. And a lot of stuff kind of bridging together all of those scopes. Work package 2 is all about the bridge. So there's a series of piers, both over the water and on land, some bearing replacements. We're replacing all of the expansion joints on the bridge deck. And again, just a bunch of scopes that are smaller, but that kind of bring all of those big things together. Work package 3 is a fire standpipe system, both on the bridge and a little bit in the tunnel, that gets replaced and improved. And then work package 4, sections of the tunnel are lined with concrete rather than steel. And so in those places, there's been some, developing cracks and spalls, things like that, that we'll go in, get access to and repair. So the contract details, just kind of overall, estimated budget is looking something like $320 million. It is a CMAR project, so we have been awarded the role of the construction manager at risk, and we are currently negotiating the guaranteed maximum price with Omada. And a part of that process is the next step, which is the procurement. And that's breaking up the 4 work packages into bid packages, which you guys will be able to see and browse on Building Connected, so that you can put in bids and we can build a team to build the work. The DBE participation goal has not yet been totally determined, but we're aiming as high as we can. So it is a focal point for procurement. Yellow Line summary schedule. So all the packages will be posted to Building Connected by this upcoming Monday. Proposals are due there really quickly at the end of April for 22. The first work will start with mobilization and some pre-shutdown work that we've got going on this summer, 2022. In fall, September 8th, it's looking like that's when we'll have the full ACS shutdown. So we'll have the run of the track to kind of get the bulk of the work done. And then we've got that shut down all the way through May of 2023. When you add in punch list and all of that good closeout stuff, looking like contract completion towards the end of 2023. So more specifically, and you'll see there is an email address on this page. So we have a couple of specific contacts that we'll put in the chat, but an email address that we have set up that we do check. I have access to this mailbox. I checked it this morning, buildingwomada@kiewit.com. So certainly if you have any specific questions and we don't end up having time to get to you on this, and you want to just jot that down, please feel free to reach out. It's a huge help to us. As you can see on this slide, there are a lot of different things that are, service agreements to some larger subcontracts. But we've got everything from civil work, fencing and landscape restoration, to the concrete repair work, trucking services. I mean, you name it, we need it done. So you guys are a huge part of how we are successful on contracts like this. So please do reach out with any questions specifically on the scopes. And we will, sorry, just to put it out there, we will talk about Building Connected, which is where all of these opportunities get posted. So we have a link where you can browse our active projects on Building Connected, as well as a link for setting up an account with Building Connected if you have not used it. So just so you know, that's coming. And Alex, if you want to hop on, talk about structures.
Sure. Good morning. My name is Alex Cornell. I'm with the Infrastructure District. I currently sit up in our New Jersey estimating office, and I've been with the company about 8 years now. Here to talk about a current estimate that we are bidding. It's the Omada Structures Rehab Package B. The owner and engineer for this, so there's varying degrees of design that have been performed, and this contract is a design build pursuit, a best value procurement. Portions of the design were put together by Gannett, Fleming, and Parsons, and then us, Kiewit Infrastructure, is responsible for designing and will ultimately be the engineer of record for the scope. So just a little bit about the project. We are rehabilitating 21 different bridges across Maryland. So we're working up in Greenbelt, in DC, in Falls Church, and then Rockville. And I'll show a depiction on the next slide of kind of where all these locations are. And what we're doing at each of these bridges is a combination of waterproofing and expansion joint replacement, joint sealants. We got to go in, and a lot of the major work is bearing replacement. So we'll have scope to do scaffolding and false work and shoring. All these bridges are over live traffic or train traffic, so we'll have scope for MOT. There's also concrete repairs, spall and crack repair, painting and coating, and fence replacement, and then some miscellaneous metal work as well. The Dbe requirements are 25% of the final contract price, and so with the owner's budget in the range of 50 to 65 million, I think this is one of the largest Dbe percentage requirements that has come out thus far, and we're planning and I think we have a good opportunity to meet that goal, and a lot of that is going to be partnering with companies like yourselves to reach that goal, and it's our intention to do that. The project duration is 845 days, so that's about 28 months from notice to proceed. And on a couple slides, I'll show you kind of what that timeline is. And We did just receive an addendum. So originally this bid date was the 21st of April. So in a couple weeks, we got a six week extension earlier this week. So it currently now bids on the 2nd of June. So plenty of opportunity to have a chance to look at this project. So Claire, if you could go to the next slide, thanks. So as I was mentioning, where these bridges are, we're working up on the A line, the K line. So the A line's the Frederick Avenue and Park Road Bridge up in Rockville, the Rockville area. Then the K line out in Virginia. So that'll be the Westmoreland Street Bridge, West Falls Church Pedestrian Bridge, 2 bridges at Route 7, K-Line Aerial, which goes over 495, Dunloring Pedestrian Bridge, and then both of the Vienna North and South pedestrian bridges is the K-Line scope. Then we jump over to the E-Line. We have three bridges in the Greenbelt area, Outer Loop, Beltway Crossing, and the Inner Loop. Then the Berwyn Road Bridge and a E-Line CSX crossing bridge. And finally, we finished the project up in the DC area, Georgia Avenue, Piney Branch Road, Aspen Street, Van Buren Street, and Riggs Road. And we go to the next slide. This will kind of depict the timelines, or the next slide. I'll get into it, but just the procurement schedule here. So questions, and with this addendum, some of these dates, I'll send out an updated bid time window. So questions are now due on the 21st, and proposals are due on the 2nd of June. So we go through a proposal evaluation process for a couple weeks. There's opportunity for discussion between the prime contractors and Omada, and ultimately we're looking for a contract award date in the middle of July. And so with that, notice to proceed will be 2nd week of July, and the project duration will go from March early 1st quarter 2023 through November of 2024. So pretty lengthy schedule and opportunity to work on throughout the entirety of the project or just portions of it. And if we go to the next slide, this schedule will kind of depict where the windows are. So each bridge we have, or as I was mentioning, grouped by line. So we first get access to the A line, and the timeline for working at the 2 bridges there will be between March and July 2023. Then we shift to the K line from June of 23 through December. Then the E line will start at the later part of 23 and go through March 2024. And then following up on the B line in DC from May 2024 to November. So it's all based around outages that have been scheduled by Omada, and we have it's easily broken up where we can transition from the different bridges. And I'll mention the next slide. I'll talk about Building Connected. Our opportunity. Our main outreach is going to be through Building Connected, and as well as for Claire's L-line outreach, the Building Omada email is available. I have access to that, and I'll be monitoring that for any solicitations. So a lot of a great opportunity that we're excited about, and hopefully have the opportunity to work with you on this project.
All right, John, if you want to talk a little bit about these next opportunities.
Sure. So I'll just basically, this is a little bit of a highlight of actually what we've already been doing. This is, as I mentioned earlier, this is our 4th contract with Omada on the station platform rehabilitations. We're currently in the early works phase of contract 4. And this entails 5 stations on the orange line that you see listed there. 2 of those stations, Minnesota Avenue and Deanwood, are characterized more as a modernization. Previous platform renovation has been completed there, so we're not doing any structural platform rehab there. We're doing everything touching the platform, new sign pylons, new platform windscreens, all of the new custom enhancements that Omada is rolling out, all new digital displays and so forth. And then, of course, all life safety systems and electrical, new lighting and public address and things like that. So that's what again, this typical summer shutdown with these platform rehab projects, Memorial Day to Labor Day. And again, we're currently in the early works phase. We start on these with night work, and we've got some scheduled RSA weekend shutdowns that we get in and do some work in advance of the actual summer shutdown, which begins the end of August, and of course at which time the stations are closed, and then Omada provides buses to move patrons from station to station. So that's where we are currently with contract 4. Next slide, please, Claire. So just a quick recap of a station rehab versus a modernization. Again, basically, those 2 stations at Minnesota and Deanwood fall into the modernization category, and then the complete structural rehab package happens at the other 3 stations. So next slide, Claire. So that essentially, real quick on the station rehab program, we're through procurement, and for the most part, everyone signed up. I will add that we're always looking for. There's always potential for small business opportunities. We began procurement back on from notice to proceed on the station rehab contract 4 toward the tail end of last year. So we've been through the procurement process for a few months now and design process. So everyone's signed up, everyone's on board, and we've accomplished we're working toward the small business Dbe requirement goal of 22%. But having said that, we are certainly excited about this opportunity to continue to speak about our relationship with Omada on this project and others, and we're always looking for developing new relationships with small businesses. So certainly reach out to me directly. My email is john.stevenson, STEVENSON @kiewit.com, and you can certainly reach out to me, and I can point you in the right direction. So the next project that we're currently working on is an actual that's been awarded to us is the relocation of Omada's Operations Control Center. Some of this kind of dovetails into the new headquarters buildings that others have completed. So Omada had come to us and said they needed our help to pull this off in the time frame listed there, with a contract completion of March of next year. So more to come on this. I think we're currently in the design and procurement phase with this one. Basically entails 3 properties that you see listed there. Most of the heavy lift and the work with regard to the scope with all trades will be at the Good Luck Road property, where that will actually house the OCC itself. So a lot of work, a lot of coordination here to do in a short period of time, but we're looking forward to getting some interest from the small business community to jump on board with us on this one. Currently, with our agreement with Omada that there's certainly not a DBE requirement set forth on this one, but we are certainly doing everything we can to continue our relationships with small businesses in the community in the DC metropolitan area and developing those. And we're excited about, picking up, building new relationships with vendors there. So that's the OCC. That's on Building Connected, and you can certainly reach out to me on that, and I can get you more information on that. And then I think one more slide, Claire. So this is actually, I guess, as Kiewit's going to take the liberty, hopefully Omada's okay with us talking about this a little bit unofficially. There's the station modernization program. I know that's out in the future. And will actually probably look a lot like what we're doing at Minnesota and Deanwood, where we're not touching the platforms, but we're going to do all the other architectural improvements at the primarily underground stations. I won't speak a lot about this, but only to say that this is a year out or so, and certainly Omada will release more information on this publicly as they develop this. But we're excited about that program as well. It's going to be as big, if not bigger, than the station rehab project and those 4 contracts. And this will likely be weekends and nights and weekend shutdowns, unlike the station rehab program that was that we completed during summer outages. So just a quick plug on that one, and I'm sure certainly Omada will release more information on that as that project unfolds. But I think that's everything I had, Claire. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, John and Alex, for sharing with us about those opportunities. For the next steps, please do check out these links at Building Connected. We are going to drop them in the chat so that you guys have access to these. One of those links just takes you to a page where you can sign up with Building Connected, takes an email and a couple of other things. Just as a casual note, if your company already has one and you're not sure how to add yourself to it, things like that, typically, actually, Building Connected's pretty good at letting either us or y'all associate yourselves with existing accounts and stuff. So it has been so far pretty easy to use, but certainly if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us if you're worried that it's not working for you. And then that second link is really slick. Please follow that to see kind of a big bank of all of Kiewit's Building Connected jobs. Many of them are local to the DC area. You'll see, I think some of them are for other parts of the country. This is my first time using Building Connected, but I think it's pretty slick. It helps us certainly find you guys. It helps us get connected with you. And it can be a really great tool for making sure that we're not missing people and that we're finding the right contacts locally. So for sure, our engineers and our procurement people are looking at Building Connected. So if your question is, how do you make sure that you get an invitation to bid on a project? I can tell you Building Connected is a great way to help yourself be seen by our procurement teams. We want to find you, so be sure to reach out.
If I could interject here, Claire, I was noticing I did a walkthrough on this to make sure our opportunity was on the all Kiewit projects. I've noticed that there's a NDA associated with the Building Connected opportunity. It doesn't show up on this public site, so I noticed that our project, the Structures B package, isn't on here, and that's just because with the nature of it being a design build opportunity, we have potentially some of our own design that might be on released as far as information. So hopefully we can get a list from all that are in attendance here, and we can specifically invite you to those packages. So if you don't see the project on there, feel free to reach out to that building connected or the building Omada email, and we can get you added specifically to some of those projects. So just wanted, if you didn't see it, just wanted to give you the heads up. So
Perfect. That is a good point. All right. So a little bit more background. What does it take to work with us? So when we get y'all's bid packages, one of the very first things that we're going to look at is safety performance and your commitment to working safely. It's a huge part of our business. It's a big part of, you know, working well. Jobs that are excellent have safety performance, quality performance, and financial performance. So if you've got one of those things without safety, you know, I don't really think that's a sustainable way to do your business in our industry. Proven quality and certification, insurance and bonding. So be sure that you check out the bid packages. Every contract is going to be a little bit different. So for example, for the yellow line, we've got our contract templates up on our building connected library so that you can review them and see what those requirements are going to be depending on which package you're putting in a bid for. On-time performance, years in business, past performance. So we're very interested in letting you tell us what it is that you do and what you do well. We want to work to your strengths. We want to work together because that's how things get built. And then just can't emphasize enough safety requirements. This is a very, very big part of the way that we do our work. If you're on a Kiewit job site, you will become familiar with our safety program. Nothing that we are doing is worth someone getting hurt over. Not a single thing. That is the most important thing. And if we can send people home the way that they came to work, with a little bit of money in their pocket as well at the end of the day, we'll consider that a success. Another key part of our business, like I talked about at the beginning, especially because we work all over the country, events like this, outreach events, local small businesses who are, who are familiar with the area, who are well connected, with kind of the network of business already in the area. We want to get plugged in with you. You are a huge part of our contracts here, here and everywhere else in the country. So we want to get plugged in with y'all and make sure that we're taking advantage of all of the expertise that y'all have in this area. So it's important to us as a value, as well as just working with our owner on meeting their goals. So just one more slide on that. Building more than infrastructure. One of our core values is stewardship. So we really do believe in giving back to our communities that we're working in. When communities are successful, when they want us to come back, when they have good experiences working for us, that in turn helps us. So it's in all of our interests to make sure that we're maximizing the contributions that local and diverse businesses can bring to the table. So we'll do some questions and answers now, keeping an eye on the chat. I do think that we've already posted those building connected links. Let me check out the chat and see if anybody's got any questions. Sure, yeah.
Some people are seeking future work for sediment and erosion control.
So for sediment and erosion control, definitely. Something that you can go ahead and do actually for the yellow line. While not all of the bid packages are posted right now, there is a general trades listing, and that's just a big catch-all. So if you want to hop in, you'll have access to things like the contract documents, so that if you want to, you can go ahead and try to get familiar with those in advance of that. But that's something that you can do in the meantime. But certainly we'll be working a couple of our remote sites are a National Park Service parking lot. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of attention to details on things like that.
Landscaping construction opportunities.
Yes, same answer. So we've got a couple of, you know, even remote sites where we're installing a couple of deep anodes for a cathodic protection system. And a part of that is going to be, you know, working in some kind of well-populated areas and on some medians. So putting all of that back better than we found it is definitely going to be part of one of those packages.
Fuel supply.
Fuel supply, absolutely. Yes, I think for everyone, if I had to hazard a guess.
Bridge deck concrete quality control.
Yes, for me. So
Yeah, I was gonna say for yellow line, no, we don't have any structural repairs of that nature. The best that we're gonna have for a yellow line in the way of concrete is kind of a smaller, I think it's epoxy actually, is kind of a smaller patching and repair scope. But yeah. Trucking, yes. So I can tell you for sure the yellow line has something like 4 locations. And because it is an outage, because it's kind of incredibly schedule sensitive, we'll be working 7 days a week, 2 shifts a day. And we don't have, you know, very large footprints. We don't have, you know, a large storage place down, you know, on the wharf by Main Avenue. So a very critical part of our coordination is going to be, you know, just-in-time deliveries, moving things around locally, so that we can stay flexible. So yes, absolutely, we're looking for trucking and hauling.
There's a supplier of PPE and safety products. Is there someone at Kiewit you can get with to talk about that?
John, does that ring any bells for you?
I would just say if we could connect that person with, you know, with our safety officer, and they can talk in more detail about, you know, what they're looking for. But, you know, a real quick plug here on safety to piggyback on what Claire is talking about. So we set out in our last Omada station rehab contract to have 0 recordables throughout the 2 shutdowns, and we achieved that. And so it's a lot of hard work to pull that off, to have 0 recordables. So we're proud of that, and that takes everybody on the team to do that at every level. So I would say that, and even to the extent with our safety, we've had our subcontractors, our small business partners, actually on the Omada program with us, that have turned to us, and they've learned so much from our safety program and standards that they've incorporated and implemented a lot of that into their own. And they've actually asked our safety officers to come and speak at events and sessions with their company. So I would just say, you know, again, we could certainly put that, you know, the folks that are asking about safety and PPE, we could put them in touch with our safety officer, and they can talk in more detail.
Jumping off the safety officer, is there ever on any of these projects going to be opportunity for third-party safety?
I won't say no. It's possible. Since it is kind of an integral part of our business, we do have a really well-rounded safety group internally. Never say never, but I don't think I can think of any right now.
A full-service promotional products company. Is there any opportunities for promotional services?
That's probably, I maybe the same answer there. It's not something maybe that we would post, but we'll definitely, we're taking down records of, you know, these questions and things like that, to share with the rest of our staff. So certainly if anything comes up, absolutely local is the way to go.
Yeah, they did the shirts that John and Alexander are wearing right now.
Did they really?
Woo.
Excellent. What I wanted to say is we love swag, so yeah. There you go.
What documentation do we look for to prove a clean safety record?
So something, for example, that I know that we're going to ask about in our documents for Yellow Line is your E&R rating. I think I apologize for not having more specifics on that, but it is in our bid packages. And I believe that you'll have access to see some of the bigger packages right now on our yellow line Building Connected. So definitely safety statistics, you know, as well as just, you know, kind of a narrative or an organizational chart. Really anything that shows that it's part of your business, telling us how you make sure your employees are safe. It doesn't have to be something that's elaborate and, you know, insanely complicated. Just how you guys are making sure that your employees are working safely. And yeah.
Can you just tell everyone that's asked a question and hasn't put their email to put in the chat?
Oh, yes. Anybody who's asked a question, can you make sure that your email is in the chat? That would be great, so we can help, so we can make sure we're following up with y'all.
And then can you just explain how, when you go to Building Connected, how you estimate from that? Like, what do you see, and how do you then submit your estimate?
So I can tell you for Building Connected, there are different, like even, for example, from our side, you can, you know, pay for a more like elaborate, actually do your line items in Building Connected. At least the way that we're using it right now, we're basically using it for outreach. So we're putting the documents up in libraries. And then what you guys would do is take those bid packages, review the files that you need out of the project library, and then put together your package. You can submit it via email when you're done. We have addresses so that you can mail it or bring it by if you want. And then also you can just upload your documents directly to Building Connected. The nice thing for us, I can tell you, I get an email every time anyone posts in one of my bid packages on Building Connected. So it is a great way for us to stay engaged and make sure that we're seeing people. But there is, you know, there's document uploads on Building Connected itself, as well as each of our bid packages typically is going to have a direct contact as well. So get into those bid package documents and pick your poison.
Will there be any emergency maintenance?
That's a good question. I'm going to say, again, since it is such a large scope, and I mean, it's happening, you know, over such a dense period of time, it's something that could happen. I don't think that we have a specific package for that, but definitely leave us your contact information, because that is a great contact to have.
Do you hire subs to monitor maintenance of traffic during construction, signal design, pavement marking design, and approvals?
Yes.
You have an MOT type.
Yeah, yes, in short. So check out the any package with MOT in the title. Other packages might be civil, to keep an eye out for. But I know, for example, we will have an MOT package, and that part of the process is in there.
Isabel, I think there was a question about site walks for estimate and billing by Santos. So there was an official, I'll talk about my project, the Structures B. There was an official site walk back in February. A lot of our bridges are public access for the most part. So we certainly allow for anyone to go out to look at the bridges that we're going to be working on. I would say currently we don't have any specific additional site walks set up, but if one is needed or requested, we can certainly try to make something like that happen.
Real quick, Claire, on the OCC relocation, we'll plan site visits at those locations when the time is right. So yeah, we'll certainly open those spaces up and walk through with subs to because they're going into existing spaces. So we'll plan for that and let everybody know.
Cool. So for the yellow line, because it's, you kind of saw the dates, because it's such kind of a compressed timeline to flip into production. The tunnel and bridge, we're probably not going to have any scheduled site visits. Some of the piers certainly, so check out the scopes of work. Some of the piers and certainly that parking lot are publicly accessible. So you'll be able to do some, kind of legwork if you want to go check out different parts of the project. But we won't have any formal site walks at this time. If that changes, we will let y'all know though, for sure.
There's a question about cleaning. We do have a package for that.
Yep, absolutely. Both janitorial for like the offices. So yeah, for sure. And we'll have several buildings, I imagine. I imagine for the structures rehab, they will as well.
Does Yellow Line have a need for an electrical equipment supplier, like battery systems?
I'm not sure about that specifically, but we can take down your contact information and I can get back to you. Did we catch up to all the questions?
Do you hire subs to provide field inspections, monitoring utility pipeline, erosion and sediment controls, outfalls, BMP performance recommendations?
That sounds similar to a couple of packages that we have. So do check out our inspection and testing bid package when that comes out. So that's got a little bit of that. That also sounds like maybe it's worth checking out the civil and MOT portions just to kind of see what the work is that we're doing, certainly. So give those a look.
And then finding the bid documents for cleaning, just explain one more time.
Yep. So for now, since those bid packages, at least for the Yellow Line, are not currently published, what you're going to do is go to the Yellow Line, go to the Yellow Line project. On Building Connected, there is a general trades listing. Add yourself as a bidder there and shoot us a message letting me know. There is a list in these slides of the different scopes of work. So if you would like to, you can take a look at these slides when they come out and tell me specifically what bid package it is. But in your specific case, yes, if you said, hey, please make sure that I'm on the list for the janitorial scope, what I can do is add you to that package. And then when it publishes, you'll get an email.
Do we have any need for network audio and visual installation tasks?
I don't know about our project. Does that ring any bells for you guys?
I would say for the OCC, we potentially would have some of that, yes.
Not for our structures B.
Again, the OCC project is more like interior renovation, building trades, interior renovation project. So unlike the other infrastructure projects, that Claire and Alex have talked about it. So more typical interior fit out, interior renovation, all of those typical interior trades will come into play with the OCC project.
Any of the projects have overhead doors?
I don't think for Yellow Line, no.
Not for structures B. I know we're running up on the time here, and I forgot to mention during my portion there we are. I just wanted to throw out there we're gonna also have another outreach event the 27th. So specifically just for our project, we'll have another opportunity to talk about it. And I know there's a question about our contact information. We'll be having that and we can provide that with the presentation slide as well.
And the contact information, Isabella is throwing some emails in the chat for you, so you'll see those in a second. Cool, caught up on questions.
And on time.
Well, you know what, that is great. I mean, you guys really had plenty of time. So you did such a great job. This is Michelle speaking. And so what I am going to do now, I will turn it back over to Otilia and she will do the next intro. Thank you so much, Kiewit. Claire, your team was awesome and so were you. So thank you.
Well, thank you all. We appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
And fantastic. Thank you all. Thank you, Claire, for the introduction to Kiewit and your highlight of people, integrity, excellence, and stewardship. Again, we certainly share these values at Metro. And I just wanted to note we definitely have a fundamental focus on the first three and an increasing focus on stewardship. And I think that applies both to our environment and our communities. So we're glad to hear that from our business partners as well. We appreciate you spotlighting our exciting CMAR project on the yellow line and the subcontracting opportunities available for those 4 work packages. It's going to be a really critical effort to bring us back into a state of good repair for that location. Thank you also to John for spotlighting the several recent successful projects that have been completed and others that are currently in progress for Metro. We value your emphasis on returning to revenue service on schedule for our customers. That is certainly a priority for us in planning and scheduling these major rehabilitation efforts like the platform project. So we're happy to hear that that's front of mind for you as well. And thank you to Alex for highlighting the active bid opportunities in support of structural package B and the vital rehabilitation initiatives for that bridge infrastructure, as well as for John for covering the platform rehab project phase 4. And again, noting those access constraints and the timeline for return to service for our customers, along with that vital OCC relocation effort that's critical to us completing our move to the 3 new headquarter buildings. Finally, I did want to note that some of the prospective opportunities that Warren mentioned, including the station modernization revitalization program, are still in development. And as mentioned, Metro will be providing more information in the coming months as those initiatives are further developed. So thank you for noting that. And turning it over to our 4th and final presenters, Tanya Adams and Mugna Tipnis with WSP USA. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Otilia. Very nice to meet you. And thank you for giving us this opportunity for WSP to present to WMATA. We typically start every event with a diversity moment. And we're lucky to have Tanya Adams here with us as well. For today's diversity moment, it's interesting because you will see our panel of WSP speakers, and they're all women leaders who are integrally involved with WMATA. So with that, I would like to say, you know, when women work together, incredible things happen. But in reality, we know that when all of us work together, amazing things happen. We can't do anything alone. And with that spirit, we want to get started and are really excited to present our relationship, our history with WMATA. And I've also invited some of our project managers to talk about key projects that we are working on right now with WMATA and opportunities for us to look at continuing teaming together. Could we get the next slide, please? Or could we get the slide deck going, please, Jackie? Thank you. So again, thanks a lot to WMATA for inviting us for this event. Our team is really excited to present. We're looking at having maybe a 10-15 minute presentation and really want to engage in question and answers and find an opportunity to connect if we haven't already connected. I see a lot of familiar names here. So again, excited to continue our conversations. Here is a brief agenda of what we are looking at presenting, our introductions, a little bit about our history, and then going into projects. And if I may request our WSP speakers to please turn on their cameras real quick while we do our introductions, that would be great. I'm Mugna Tipnis. I'm a vice president and the local business lead, transportation lead for the DC office for WSP and a principal on our WMATA contracts. We have Tanya Adams, and she is our Vice President for Inclusion and Diversity and a true champion for our diversity and growth. We have Jamila Mohammed Ingram, who is a project manager on our Bladensburg Bus Garage. We may not have Miranda Zhang, or she may join in a bit. She's on the West Coast and was having some technical difficulties. And we have Stephanie Murdoch, our Capital District Marketing Director, and she is key for putting together most of our pursuits and items that we pursue. And all of them will be speaking shortly. Next slide, please. And if you see, we have our names on top, and our email addresses are, our contact information will be given next. So you will see, but it's typically firstname.lastname@wsp.com. So since 1983, we've been providing engineering services in the DC region. And quite frankly, for over 5 decades, we've been working on a lot of key projects, and really happy and excited to continue that growth. WSP USA Inc., it's a part of WSP Global, and we're a multidisciplinary firm. We do have one of the largest engineering and professional services with multiple offices, as you can see. I've shown our local offices, which is the DC office, our Herndon, and our Baltimore office. Overall, we have upwards of 11,000 employees with engineers, planners, technical experts, advisors, construction management professionals, and the 3 offices that we have, but we're also supported by our national business lines throughout the country. Next slide, please. History with WMATA. We have been working with WMATA for over 5 decades now. Currently, what WSP owns, or holds, I should say, 4 of the IDIQ contracts for PMCM and engineering support services, for GEC services, for general planning, and which was the legacy planning, and on-call planning support. In addition to that, we are also supporting on various other standalone contracts, but these are the main contracts that we're on, and we continue to support WMATA on. Taking a step back, I came from a DBE firm when I joined WSP about a year ago. And one of the things that attracted me most to WSP was the true meaningful partnerships that we develop with our DBE partners. We know we can't go at it alone. And, being on the other side with WSP now, I see how we truly look for growth, not just for us, but for our DBE partners, our small business partners, to see how we can help them meet their strategic plans and their goals. And, there is the whole gamut of services that we continue to provide WMATA and the DMV region. And, I'm again looking for this as an opportunity to open dialogue if we have not already connected. So we really know that, the growth is only possible together, and we look forward to these long-lasting relationships. We've listed a few of our partnering needs that we see quite often: architecture, planning, civil, structural, MEP, systems, design, integration, commissioning, document control, project controls, on-site support for various construction management opportunities, permitting, jurisdictional approvals, stakeholder engagement, IT services, and a lot of staff augmentation. But these are only a few. We want to hear what else you are doing, what else you could do, and how we can continue to grow together. So I think those are my slides. I would like to request Tanya Adams to please present. Tanya is our Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion, and also a true champion for growth. She serves on an executive executive board with Comto, and has continued to see true growth for not just women, but for minorities and small businesses. So Tanya, over to you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for that introduction. I have to tell you that I've spent the last 34 years of my career working in inclusion, diversity, equity, and quality. And that's not only within WSP, but externally as well. I have to say that we've been partnering with DBEs, and the key word is partners. They're just not subs, but they're a partner. When we have a project and we work together, it's one team with one goal. And I'm happy to say that we look at making sure that our partners are getting meaningful opportunities. It's just not 1% here or 2% there. That's never going to allow them to build capacity, to grow, to invest in the communities where we work and live at. So if you see from this chart, it will tell you the different projects we had. and the percentages that we do for our DBE partners. And it starts at the beginning. We sit down with our partners and have an actual conversation. Where do you want to grow? What do you want to bring to this project? We make sure that that conversation starts at the beginning all the way through the end. You're never going to have true inclusion, equity, and quality if you start in the beginning at 1% and you're never brought along through the whole project. Next slide. I'm happy to say that 2 years ago, we were all going through a trying time with the murder of George Floyd. And from a grassroots group of people within WSP, started talking about how we need to have equity. And I'm proud to say our CEO, Lou Cornell, and Denise Roth over Advisory Service said, let's bring this into a service. Let's make sure that the projects we're working on, our clients that we serve, the communities we live in, have equity, which is a key component. And that's making sure that it starts as an operation part, looking at the projects in the community and our clients and where we can serve them. Advancing WSP's mission. It is in our mission, it's our statement, it's our goal to make sure that we have equity. And deploying best practices in beginning at planning for equity. And that fourth component is making sure we have diverse talent. And diverse talent means people of color, gender, race, ethnic backgrounds, veterans, disabled, LGBTQ, to make sure that the people who are working on projects, working in communities, look like those communities that we're serving. That's something that's in our DNA. It's something that I'm all about. And the other part is making sure we connect with organizations that support the same matters. As she mentioned before, I have to mention COMTO. I am the chair of COMTO, and I'm so honored and pleased. WTS, ACEC, Latinos in Transit, APTA, it keeps going on and on, making sure you're engaged with those organizations beyond just giving money. Next slide, please. I have to say this. We have a program called Mentor Protege, and that's where we work with our DBE partners. They may have a strength in one area, but want to get pre-quals in another area. So we do a Mentor Protege with them to make sure that they are part of the process. They're learning at the same time as they're working, giving them those additional skills. It's not sitting back and just watching us doing it, but making sure we're a partner and they're getting those skills so they can get those pre-quals, so they can go after a project that has those in there, and then we can become their teaming partner. That's truly how you know that you have a great partnership, when you can do a role reversal and that we are their sub and they're prime in the project. That's WSP's goal and mission. Next slide. I'm going to turn this over to talk about our DBE participation.
Hi, good morning. I'm happy to be here today to speak with you about the Bladensburg Bus Garage project. It's located in Northeast Washington, D.C. It's one of Omada's oldest assets, and it's being replaced with a new state-of-the-art maintenance facility for bus operations and maintenance. There will be a new parking structure as well that provides on-site parking for employees and 300 buses. The contract for this project has two parts, a pre-construction services and a construction services part. Right now we're in the construction services stage, and the project, it'll be built in 3 phases. So the first phase in blue that you see on the screen there is where the existing facility will be demolished and replaced with the new maintenance facility from July 2021 to July 2024. The second phase, shown there in green, is where the new parking structure will be built between August 2024 to February 2026. The third phase that you see in orange consists of preparing the remainder of the site for bus parking, and this will take place from March 2026 to March 2027. Next slide, please. So WSP, we have really engaged our DBE partners in several aspects of the Bladensburg Bus Garage project, and this ranges from administrative support to construction inspection, cost estimation, design, engineering, and constructability reviews, permitting, project scheduling, and public involvement. And the team, we're currently on target to exceed 25% of our WSP fee to DBE partners. I'll also mention to you that the project contract itself between Hensel Phelps and Omada includes an open book process. And in this process, the contractor submits bid packages and award recommendations to Omada for approval for the Phase 2 construction services work. And our team reviews the submittals and checks that the contractor is engaging in DBE outreach efforts as well. And I know that they are also participating in today's program. So thank you. Next slide. I'll turn it over.
Do we have Miranda on? I know she was having some technical difficulties.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Thanks,
Oh.
Miranda.
Sorry about that. So start over again. My name is Miranda Zhang, and I have the honor to introduce another project we are currently working with Omada. It's for their joint development and the station improvement support on call. The project is, the purpose of the project is system-wide on-call support to look at opportunities for TOD and station improvements. And the project started in 2020. In the past 2 years, we have looked at about 20 stations at Metro to assess various Omada-owned properties and the Metro stations for opportunities of joint development, placemaking, connection improvement, traffic improvements, and things like that. The deliverable of the project, including the feasibility study analysis for different parcels that Omada own or impact adjacent constructions, the due diligence site review for different Omada properties that including all discipline from zoning and land use to civil to traffic analysis, transit operation, and also geotech and structural or zone of influence review. A special mention here is the project under this contract. We are also delivering Omada's first parking master plan, try to determine the best way using data collection and analysis to help decide how to plan for future management of the park and ride facilities at about 36 applicable stations. Next slide, please. So the unique thing about this contract is this is ongoing for 3 years, but we have task orders coming at different time with different scope and also different funding sources, which means each task order gave us the opportunity to rethink what are the best team to bring on board and what are the strategies to bring our partners in to best serve Omada's needs. So every time when the task order come out, we talk first we clarify the scope in details with Omada, and then we reach out to our DBE partners, having conversation with them to discuss what the best piece they can help or they can provide. And in the past 2 years, we were able to bring 5 DBE partners on the contract, and for a total of 660,000 fee to date. And there's still more to come. So we're very excited about that. Our partners have been helping on the scope piece, including the traffic analysis. That's including the parking master plan, as I mentioned. We have 2 DBE partners on that to help. We also have landscape design, placemaking partners, which locate in the DC area, very familiar with the stations and visit the station with us and Omada. Environmental reviews, that's including the phase 1 ESA and also the natural resource inventory, other environmental review deliverables floodplain analysis, and also a special mention that we were also able to bring a on-site staff to support Omada full-time through the DBE partner. So like I said, it's a multitask order, still more to come, and our conversation to engage more DBE partners to bring them on board is also going to continue. Thank you.
Hi there. So as far as next steps go for how to partner with WSP, we have our subconsultant supplier registration site, and this is designed to connect WSP employees to firms that can fulfill our project's needs. This helps match your business's services so that we can move forward together successfully. The application on the website includes business information, licenses, everything from safety to quality. And all of this helps ensure that we are providing Omada with the level of service and quality that they've come to expect from our team. If anybody has issues with the system, you can reach out to prequalus@wsp.com. And the application really only takes a short amount of time once you have all the information ready. From the local perspective, you can reach out to Mugna Tipnis or myself, Stephanie Murdoch, and we really serve the needs in the Capital District, specifically for Omada, to make sure that for pursuits and ongoing projects, if needs arise, that we can really match your firms to the projects that we have.
Thanks, Stephanie. So this is our WSP team. We want to invite question and answers, and I see there are a few questions. If I could request the WSP team to please turn on your cameras. Jackie, you as well, and thank you so much, Jackie, for being our moderator and helping us put all of this together.
Absolutely. And we have got some questions coming in through the chat. A lot of support for the DBE initiatives that had been discussed. So one of the questions was, where can we get information to become a subcontractor? That's last slide that we had shared, which will be a part of the presentation deck. That link is the best place to go. Otherwise, reaching out to either Stephanie or Magda.
Right. And we've also put that link in chat, so you could see that, but we understand the slide deck is going to be shared. So, that is the link for getting pre-qualified and getting in our system. But if you hear of anything or you would like to showcase any of your specific qualifications, please do feel free to reach out to Stephanie and me. We are consistently meeting with our current and potential DBE partners. So, these would be your main points of contact.
And then we've got another question asking if there'll be subcontracting opportunities for landscape construction.
Well, for construction, not so much immediately. I mean, the needs are always coming up, but we do have a big component of landscape design on various tasks that we are working on. Miranda, if you would like to elaborate a little bit on the landscape that you're looking at under the current joint development task, that would be great. But there are others that we are working on with various groups within Omada, with ENGA, on some of the other projects that we're doing as well.
Sure. I can add a little bit that we have been working with Omada and still looking for the landscape piece is at the placemaking and station improvement at Omada stations. And in the past, we have looked at about 5 stations in all 3 different jurisdictions. The station improvement is looking at, while our engineer team looking at the possibility to consolidate or optimize the transit operational needs at the stations. What are the opportunity to rethink the space at Omada Metro Station Plaza or entrance to make it a better, safe, and more welcoming spaces? And at the planning stage, these are conceptual design, the ideas, but we do work closely with Omada to reach out to the city, to the town, present these ideas and understand their concerns and what if they have any study ongoing, and incorporate those comments to provide them the information and open the conversation to continue how to help them to implement them.
Yeah, thanks, Miranda. I'd also like to add that this group also serves the district, so District Department of Transportation. We're doing work with Prince George's County, DPWT, and Montgomery County as well. So, you know, there is always a need to partner on all these other agencies in addition to Omada. And we do see landscape services, landscape design as a part of a number of the tasks that we undertake for our other transportation and transit agencies as well in the region.
Another question we've got is, how do we partner with WSP for the Mentor Protege program?
Absolutely. So again, I would say you could reach out to me to get the discussion going. I would like to request, Tanya, though, if you could speak a little bit about our Mentor Protege program, and then I could jump in on one current Mentor Protege program that I'm running.
Not a problem. So we have two different ways of doing Mentor Protege. And one is informal. It's not set up by the client. It's something that we do on our own. And thus we find a partner that we're working with, and they have a strength in one area, but they have an area they want to get a pre-qual. So we set up that arrangement that we're going to work. And that's just something that we do on the side of the project. And then there's the formal side. When a client has a formal Mentor Protege program, we then team with partners that we've talked to that have reached out to us saying, hey, we got expertise in this area and we'll help you here, but in this area you want to grow. But there's something else that we also do is that we're working with you as a partner and you have some back office areas that you may need assistance in. We go above and beyond to make sure. It could be from your accounting, it could be your HR, because if we're really going to be partners, we're going to make sure that you have all the tools and resources you need to be successful.
Thanks, Tanya. I would like to highlight that we do have an informal Mentor Protege program going on with the DC office with Symetra. And I don't know if Nicole White is on this call, but she and I get together a couple of times during the month and talk about, you know, what is bothering her as a business owner, what can what is currently on her mind. We look at strategic planning, we look at different opportunities, pursuits, but also, as Tanya mentioned, HR issues, coming back to the office. We are implementing processes of how many days you want to come back in to continue collaboration. So those discussions as well. So, we do open that up and pull in other experts as well from the Baltimore office or other offices, also our national experts as needed to, just help and be that sounding board and give more resources that help you get where you want to get. I mean, ultimately you're driving, you're in the driver's seat, but we're happy to give you the tools that are needed to get there. And I know Symetra has been integral in our tasks that Miranda is leading as well on the joint development tasks. So, there is that true partnership. And I'm proud to say that we are actually sub-consultants to some work that they are chasing with Prince George's County. And that's a true measure of success for us. That's a true partnership. So, we definitely look at those mentor protege programs because we benefit as much as you do.
I have to add this one part on. When you have a successful program like that, you truly, truly have creativity. You have different ways of looking at things. And that's going to make us a better team. It's going to make us a better firm. It's just going to make us better in our community all around.
All right. Our next question is asking if there will be opportunities for fueling.
That's a hard one. Given that we're mainly focused on planning, engineering, and design, I think unless we get embedded with a design build partner, and we've had Clark and Kiewit, another design build partner, Hensel Phelps, present. So unless we're looking at a design build project, I think it may be something that's out of scope right now, but we can always have that discussion.
Our next question is, we've got a company that does swag and embroidered church jackets. Who do we contact to build the relationship?
I guess
Is that through
Stephanie and
that
me.
same portal? Yeah.
I'd be happy to take that one. So obviously marketing is a huge part of any firm's business, and promoting ourselves is one of those. So I would say, please reach out to me. That way, not only just in this local area, but any of our needs. And sometimes there are partnerships. Sometimes, we might want to do something specific for a job that might just be beyond, promoting WSP as a firm. And so that would definitely be an opportunity to engage your services.
And then our next question is, are there any opportunities for advisory accounting services within these bids?
If there is embedded staff augmentation, there are opportunities. Advisory, I would like some more clarification. I mean, because advisory is a fairly large, broader spectrum, and we do have advisory services in terms of management consulting that we do offer to Omada and our other local clients from time to time. So absolutely, I would be interested in learning more in terms of what advisory services your firm would offer.
And then the next question is, do you have sub-consulting opportunities for traffic engineering, traffic study, traffic signal design, and traffic control plan design?
Absolutely. Now you're speaking my language. That's no, absolutely. We are always looking for traffic, transportation planning as well as design. We're looking at, I mean, if you've looked at the CIPs and budgets, there is a huge budget in for bus priority lanes. We are seeing all our partners our clients are extremely engaged in Vision Zero and looking at what else is coming down. So we are actively tracking that as well. So if we haven't spoken yet, we should be speaking. So please do reach out to us. I'd be very interested in talking more.
And then will there be any opportunities for dealing with sediment and erosion control?
Absolutely. Sediment and erosion control is a part of our civil engineering services. So there are opportunities. We are always teaming up with our own internal WSP water resources group as well for various stormwater management opportunities. And we're always looking at sediment and erosion control is a part of what we're looking at under the overall civil engineering umbrella. So again, at the risk of repeating myself, if we're not talking already, reach out. Let's talk.
And then one more question. We have someone that's been trying to reach out since 2021 to form a partnership with WSP. And it's SQ Consultants. Any help would be helpful, and mentoring. Thanks.
Absolutely. If you've not reached out to me, please do, as I said, reach out to Stephanie as well. And there is the pre-qualification link. We would be interested in talking.
And that's all the questions that we currently have in the queue. Were there any others from the group?
Well, you know what? Hearing none, Jacque, I want to say thank you so much. This is Michelle. You guys are fabulous. Thank you. I am going to bring Otilia back on to put out some information before we close out the event. Thank you so much, WSP Global.
Thank you. We really appreciate the opportunity to present.
Ms. Howard, thank you for having us today.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you all again for all of your presentations and the insightful information. Wanted to thank Mugdha first for starting off with a really thoughtful diversity moment. Again, that's a really critical value for us at Metro, and one that we likewise highlight in many of our meetings and like to think that we embody in our work, our hiring, our operations, and our partnerships. So we appreciate you noting the partnership needs on our engineering and architectural projects, as well as the other projects that you highlighted. Thank you, Tanya, for sharing WSP's history and evolution in partnering with disadvantaged minority and women-owned firms. We're really proud to share in meeting and exceeding DBE goals and many Omada projects, including numerous task orders in our IDIQ programs, where WSP is a key participant. Thank you to Jamila for covering the Bladensburg Bus Garage from that PMCM perspective and building on the information shared by Hensel Phelps as the contractor. Thank you to Miranda for sharing information on the joint development and station improvement on-call support services and those related sub-opportunities. I think that Metro is in such a unique position because we are a transit agency that serves communities across DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And this position really enables us to have a direct impact on transit-oriented development that truly benefits our riders and ultimately our region. So finally, thank you to Stephanie for sharing how to best partner with WSP on these various subcontracting opportunities to support Metro in delivering on numerous critical projects today and in the future. And as Michelle mentioned, I know that she will cover further comments to conclude this event. And I did want to take this opportunity to thank all of our presenters for the informative presentations, your ongoing focus on safety, your consideration of access timelines and the project impact on our customers, and your dedication to engaging our small, disadvantaged minority and local businesses in the current and future contracting opportunities. Now, my final thought that I would like to share is a new initiative that I'm really excited about. We launched earlier this year in February, a Procurement Opportunities quarterly newsletter. This newsletter is live and available for your subscription on Metro's procurement website. I'm going to pop a link in the chat and encourage all of you to register to receive our next issue that's scheduled for late May, and ask you to please follow Metro Omada on LinkedIn for future market outreach opportunities. We're pursuing numerous requests for information and posting other advanced notices for prospective opportunities as they come out. That will be reinforced in the newsletter and also shared on social media. So keep an eye out in the coming weeks and months and reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you again, and I will turn it back to Michelle for concluding remarks.
Thank you so much, Otilia. You know, this is where we say all the good thank yous. So I want to say thank you to our prime contractors, Clark, Kiewit, Hensel, Phelps, and WSP Global for doing such an excellent job. I want to say, remember, we have another one of these coming up in June and another one in September, and we will make sure that we get the information sent out to you. Thank you to our Small Business Programs Office staff and the Procurement Department for doing such an excellent job. We also partnered with our Project Development and Implementation Planning Office of Capital Program Delivery for putting together this awesome series this year that we hope will be beneficial to you as our small business community. I hope you were able to learn some important information to help your company strategize on contracting opportunities with Omada. Remember, certification is the key to participation, and we look forward to receiving your certification applications being submitted to Omada. We have those new programs. We're excited about MBE, small business and micro business. We are asking you to please submit your certifications to us because we want to make sure we're delivering those opportunities to you. Thank you again and have a great rest of your day.